what we have here is some questions, right? So we have circumference and area questions. They're all relating to the circle. So you're looking, circumference is 2 pi r, area equals pi r squared. In the first one, we know that pi equals pi, and we know the circumference is 8 pi. So here's what we do. Circumference, the c value gets replaced with 8 pi. You happy with that? And then we have 8 pi equals 2 pi multiplied by the radius. There's pi's on both sides. They cancel. 8 equals 2 times the radius. So what's the radius equal? 8 divided by 2? 4. R equals 4.
Wait, so the radius is 8.
2 multiplied by the radius is 8. So the radius has to be 4.
Okay, but wait, why do you have to get rid of the pi?
Radius is equal to 4. Now if the radius is 4, what's the area, guys? Area equals?
The area being
Pi times?
times the radius.
So pi times? 4 squared, and that'll get me 16 pi. Everybody happy with that? Now, let's try another one.
How does pi have nothing to do with it?
It means 16 multiplied by whatever pi is.
It means that pi is a nominator.
Means it's a
Like you don't know what pi is. And
well, you technically do. It's 16 pi, right? That's your answer, right? But if you're to change it, it'll be 50.27. But what we're trying to say is that you can leave it in terms of pi. So if it says pi at the start, see the way it says it here, 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 and here. These are the ones you'd leave in terms of pi. Now, the next one has pi is 3.14, and it tells us what the area is. So which formula do we start off with, the area or the circumference formula? So replace the circumference with, we're doing question 4 by the way, so we're going to replace it with 706.5. Happy enough with that? What's the pi value? 3.14 times the radius squared. Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to divide 706.5 divided by anybody? What are we going to divide it by?
13. Oh no, would we say 3.14?
We're going to divide it by the 3.14. Whichever number comes in front of the r squared goes underneath to be divided. So 706.5 divided by 3.14, and what we get is 225. R squared equals 225. Can anybody in class tell me how to figure out what r is?
Would you divide 225
No.
by 2?
No. That's 2r equals 225.
Oh, sorry.
Can anybody in class tell me what is the answer of r squared equals 16? What number when multiplied by itself gives you 16? When multiplied by itself, not added onto itself. 4. So there's a button that does this in your calculator. What button is it? See this button here? Root 225 gets us 15. Radius therefore equals 15. Okay, let's try another one now. Once again, you always have your 2 formulas at the start. Okay, so let's try another one now. Let's try out number 7 as an example. Now, first of all, do we start off with the area formula or the circumference formula? Look at number 7. Do we know the circumference formula? Or do we know the circumference of the triangle, of the circle I mean?
No.
We don't know it. What do we know?
You do know what the area is. And
we know the area is 16 pi, and we know that the area equals pi r. What happens to the pi's? What are we left with?
The radius is 4.
Now, what is the circumference? This part here. Circumference, anybody? Circumference equals?
2. So 8.
8 pi. You getting the hang of this?
Yeah. Wait, would there be, how much of a difference would it be from just 8? Like,
how much difference? You have to put in the pi because the pi is in the format. It's 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by r. If you just did 2 multiplied by 4 is 8. You're forgetting all about that. It has to be multiplied by pi. There's a big difference between 8 and 8 pi. 8 is just the number 8, while 8 pi is actually closer related to 25. Pi stands for a number.
okay.
So you have to multiply that number roughly by 3. So pi, anything that's multiplied by pi is roughly 3 times bigger. So that's why you have to include the pi. The circle would be too small then. Guys, look at this one here, circumference question. We'll do number 16, okay? How do I know 16 is a circumference question? Anybody tell me how I know that? Any idea, Charlie? How do I know it's a circumference question, number 16? This one here. What's directly underneath the circumference? 66. For this specific question, the circumference is 66. Okay. Circumference equals 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by r. So it's going to be 2 multiplied by what's pi for this question? 22 over 7 multiplied by radius, which we don't know. Now, 66, 2 times 27 over 22 over 7. What'd you get? 44 over 7. Now, what happens if we want to get r on its own? What has to leave the r alone for the r to be on its own? Sorry? This whole thing here has to leave, doesn't it? It's currently being multiplied by r. When it moves to the left hand side, what's going to happen?
66 over 44 over 7.
Perfect. So here's what you do. 66 over 44 over 7. Radius therefore equals or 10.5. Okay. Now the radius equals 10.5. What else do we need to find? We have to find the area. Area equals, what's pi?
22%.
What's the radius? 10.5 squared. Okay. So it's going to be 22 over 7 multiplied by what, guys?
Good morning. Today's announcements. First in relation to the national.
What we have here, guys, is 22.7 multiplied by 10.5 squared.
346.5.
And as Ben rightfully said, it's going to be 346.5 centimeters squared. Okay, so in class today I've done which questions? I didn't do all of them.